they're really not as confident as they look. Even if they appear to be confident, they're much less confident than men, I find. Not across the board, but I've found that when girls are overconfident, it tends to be like more of a cover up for like meanness or bitchiness, and they're more, you know, that's what I've, you know, that's something that I kind of take to heart. Because I used to think they were so tough and whatever. I like women who are tough, though, also. I like women, not bitchies, yeah, but like, that stand up for themselves. And that actually, you know, tell you when something's bothering them and they're open. I like open and expressive, and that's not something you can find every day. That's not something you can just, you know, pick up and you know, and learn about women.
Do you have any insights into how a woman decides to go to bed with a man? Like what makes women
Let me get to the part, you know, where I get in trouble for. Do I have any insights on what? Not really. I'm not so like, you know, like I'm going to incriminate myself with this stuff.
Then that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
I can't. This is one of the things I've never really spoken about with my audience.
And why is that?
You know, there's like some things you can admit you're not Shomer Nagia, you can admit this. Right. The second you start talking about like premarital sex, then you lose half your audience, you know, that sort of thing. I've made some mistakes. If you talk about it in a Musser way, it's fine. When I was 19,
can you give us some Musser?
When I was 19, there was this Space Yaakov girl, and she came on to me, and my Yetzer Hara took control, and I wasn't up on my Mesilas Yesharim Seder, and I didn't learn Musser that day, and I'm sorry. Thank you. Will it be Michael me, please? So, you know, that sort of thing. But it's, you know, are these people asking this?
No, no.
Oh, this is just...
I'm asking this.
Yeah, cool.
So you've always stayed within Orthodoxy?
I mean, more or less.
I'm not saying that your behavior was always Shomer.
Oh.
No, I'm not
you're saying in terms of affiliation?
Socially, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, now I'm just beginning, you know, probably within the last year or so, to not leave Orthodoxy, but discover that there's more to life than Orthodoxy. That there are many more opinions, and there's a lot of people that are, just because they don't do certain things doesn't make them lesser Jews. And that's something, I've always believed in that, but never have I actually gone out and seeked or sought. You know, I've never been to a conservative or reform or egalitarian or anything minion before this year. You know, before the last year or so. Just recently, because I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm done with Orthodox. Why don't I start making fun of them? They're so much better to make fun, especially from an Orthodox perspective. To make fun of them is like great, although some people might get offended. I mean, I had this girl from Jew school. Well, I wanted to write for them. They're like, well, you offended women rabbis on your blog. We can't have you write for us. They're too progressive. So Juicy picked me up instead. So I write for Juicy and Delicious, but Jew school, they don't want me. So, but, you know, because I am, you know, you begin to realize that when you're within the frame of Orthodoxy, you think that you're it. And then you go out and you realize Orthodoxy is very small and everyone else is like this. And if we're, you know, like, you know, I don't want to like push that many buttons, but if we want to keep our religion alive and our culture alive, we need to bring people in. We can't just be this little ignorant speck of very insular Jews. We need to welcome people in and welcome them to do what they want. As long as, if you're going to be a practicing Jew and you're going to be identified as Jewish, you don't have to be Orthodox. And I think that that's something that Orthodox people are missing. And their extreme ignorance in certain cases is going to hurt them, because there's a lot of people leaving the fold, and you might think that you can have, you know, 10, 12 babies, but it's, you know, more and more and more it's not working out. You know what I'm saying? Especially the economic troubles, tuition crisis. I mean, people can't afford, you know, that's a big deal in the Orthodox community now. People pulling their kids out of yeshiva and sending them to public school, and that's a big deal. You know, I mean, back in my father's day, everyone went to public school, but now it's like, you know, you go to yeshiva. You know, you skimp on other things. You send them to yeshiva, and debt and all these, you know, things. I don't know what this has to do with going outside of Orthodoxy, but I definitely am going to more progressive places. And I'm interested in it anyway. I went to this minyan in San Francisco called the Mission Minyan. You heard of it? You're nodding.
So.
Really, really cool. I went there, and the people who took me are modern Orthodox people. And they like it. They daven an Orthodox service. You go in, they have burn bounds and art scrolls, and there's 3 sections with mechitzas in the middle.
Yeah, and it's queer friendly.
Man, well, everyone's queer friendly as long as you don't throw on your pink thong and wave your rainbow flag. It's good. But there's men, women, and middle is mixed, kind of like a Miami Boys Choir concert. Same thing. And the women daven certain parts of the davening, and the men daven certain parts of the davening. I guess it's split up in a way that the women daven stuff that's more rabbinical, and the men daven stuff that's more biblical. And the women get the middle aliyos, and they lay in, and in order to start the minyan, they need 10 men and 10 women. It's called a partnership minyan. Really cool. I really enjoyed it, and it was really beautiful singing and very welcoming, and you know, it was cool. It was almost like I termed the post like if Orthodox and egalitarian were possible, that's what would be. That's how it would. You know, I don't know if it is possible within the framework of normative Orthodoxy. He can probably argue this, but I'm not so well versed in it. But I think in what is accepted at large by the Orthodox community isn't necessarily by the book Orthodoxy, because Orthodoxy has moved way to the right from what it used to be, although there's this whole myth about how in the shtetl everyone was ultra-Orthodox and everyone was pious, and everyone, by the time they were 3, they knew the full Talmud. I don't think that's true. I think and that's starting to become that there's this whole mythical aspect in people's minds, that everyone, because they wore the whole garb, must have been really holy, and not just cold because it was Poland, you know.
What do you think we should do about the gays?
You know, like Kahana said, throw them into the sea. You know, I mean, I used to be for crucifixion, but like, that's just, it's cruel. It's unusual. You know, maybe just like castration and like Lorena Bobbitt style. We could do that. You know, whatever happened to Lorena Bobbitt? Is she on Wikipedia? I wonder if she's on Wikipedia.
Yeah,
she is. She was big. I mean, it was such a big deal for me. Like, someone could cut off a penis, and that always made me fear women. Actually, after that.
That never happened at your yeshiva?
No. The rabbis were pretty friendly when they blew you. It was nice. It was just like, don't worry, we'll give you off on tuition next year. It's fine.
Did you get offended if like a certain rabbi was not interested in blowing you? Did you feel like, what's wrong with me?
No, I was, not so into it because I was a coaster. Like I only took showers once a week on Friday to Friday. So I never want anyone down there. It's just so, it's dirty. So
it didn't hurt your self-esteem if they passed you over?
No, and the mikvah was one thing. That was like, come on, like what I have plenty to offer here. Just because I'm small doesn't mean I can't perform.
Right, and you have a nice personality.
Yeah, I know, right? I can talk. I can canoodle. I'm a very good cuddler. But I won't buy your dinner. That's one of their. That might have been their problem, So they tried during those drug tests. I hear. No, they didn't.
What do you love and what do you hate about Orthodox Judaism?
What do I love? I love the food. I like the fact that a mechitza makes ugly women look hot.
It does.
It really does. You look over and you're like, they're so forbidden, and you can only sort of see them, so half their weight is gone. Yeah. I love Kiddush, because Kiddush is just like anarchy. It's like our one instance of anarchy. We really just you put a table of free food in front of Jews that have been sitting around not talking for 3 hours, and that's naturally what happens. We kill each other. And I've seen, I was in Far Rockaway, someone literally took me and went like this, and grabbed the herring out of my hand, and the kichel, and it was all done. It was cream herring. Cream herring is a very hot commodity at Kiddush, because it's like, it's kind of like it's like a virgin herring. You want to eat herring, you gotta have the wine sauce, or I had this weekend jalapeno herring. Cream herring's like, it's pussy herring. It really is. It's like, you're such a wimp, cream herring. It's like drinking like Kahlua versus Scotch. It doesn't belong in the same field. Women can eat cream herring. It's not those like old Yiddish guys in back of the shul. The herring's good. That's not distinct to Orthodox Judaism. Other things I like about. Nothing else. But hate, there's lots to hate. I mean, I hate and this is like on a more serious notion, I hate the value placed on externals. So, what I would term most of orthodoxy nowadays is social orthodoxy. I have a friend who, he told me this a number of times, he would rather his wife wear skirts than keep Shabbos.
Interesting.
And he said, he's like, because I am social.